trying to escape as much as I could. But not just that, I was snappy, I was stressed, I could not cope with the lack of sleeping in the night with the baby waking up, the hangovers, the come downs, the arguing. And I'll tell you what a massive, I mean, this is what's different for me. Every moment I can get my hands on Sage, if I go in the house in between stuff, I'm like, give her here, And I never used to be like that. I used to be like, yeah, take the baby, or whatever, or put the baby down. Like I'm like, give her here. I'm experiencing so much more. I'm like, I'm not going out. I'm here. I'm seeing the little changes in her so much, and I'm noticing. I'm like, oh my god, like now she like I never noticed the difference between, or the change between them with their hands trying to grab stuff, like all like they can't do it, to slowly being able to grab things, and just like the other day, Shelly going to her, and her suddenly being able to work out to get her lips together and go, like these subtle little nuances and these little changes and developments in like moving their hands, holding their head up and stuff like that. Never noticed any of that before. And that breaks my heart. So it's like a double-edged sword. It's like, it's so nice to be so present. That's the word, so present. Because you're not if you're hungover, and I was hungover all the time, or I was wanting to go out and get drunk, right? So your mind is never here. You don't slow down and stop enough to just go, let's have a look. Let's see what's going on. I mean, I love it. The mornings are beautiful. Me, Neve, Rue, Sage. And I'm seeing so much. And it's like I keep saying, it's a double-edged sword, because it's beautiful, but it makes me so sad as well, where I'm like, oh, I miss so much. You don't realise, even though you're there, if you're drinking or hungover, you ain't there. You are not seeing what's going on. And you compound that drinking and drug taking and everything. You compound it. My mental health was shot to bits. And a massive one is obviously Shelley is struggling a little bit at the moment, just simply because women do. Having a baby stuck to them 24/7. It's, like I can come in here and do the podcast. I can nip out and do the podcast. I can go and do my work and stuff like that. At the moment, while the baby is breastfeeding, that baby cannot be away from her for more than an hour, maybe. As soon as it needs a feed, it's crying. We can try and we're trying to bottle feed her, trying to wean her off the mood onto the bottle, but Shelley is feeling it. She can't. She normally works out. She can't work out until I come back in and take the baby, or da 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 da. So it's tough, and she's up 3 times in the evening. So we're looking at her sleep patterns on the thing. She has a little bit of deep sleep, and then it's just like broken all the way through. So she is touchy. I'm not gonna lie. She's a bit moody. She's a bit touchy occasionally. But I can see it for what it is, right? And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like the other day, she got a bit moody, and I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's not, we don't need to. I appreciate that you're tired. We don't need to argue about this. Let me just take the baby, go and have a bath, or go and. Right. I mean, I'm not always like that. Sometimes I don't clock it, and I'm like, shut up. And she's like, shut up, you. And we're like, F off. And she's like, F you. And we're like, all right, we're arguing. And we're like, let's stop. Do you know what I mean? But that rarely, rarely happens. I think since Sage has been born, maybe we've had like a shouty argument twice. Do you know what I mean? But my point is, I'm more in, and by shouty, it'd be like one thing shouted, and she'll shout something, and then it's over. And I think about that, I'm like, that's mental. Because we used to argue for hours. We used to argue, the arguments would go on for days. Now it's like, shut up, you. Oh, you shut up. And then it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Do you know what I mean? But the point that I'm getting to is 9 times out of 10, I can actually anticipate, I know it's coming, because I can see that she's stressed, and then I'm trying to put the pieces together. And that's sobriety, man. I never had that patience before. I never had that patience. In fact, I'd use the argument to get out of the house to go to the pub. Do you know what I mean? So it just makes the environment better and easier. So, and I mean, God, I got in a right state. I can't remember if it was Neve or Ruse, but I got in a right state. I think it was Ruse. Wetting the baby's head, I mean, I got in a right state for both of them, but especially for Ruse. She had just had the baby. I think we spoke about it on here before. And I think I was calming down on my drinking through the pregnancy. I was trying not to, especially on the lead up to when the baby was born. And then all hell broke loose as soon as the baby was born. I can remember going through the actual labour, thinking about, oh, I hope this can hurry up so I can get off me nut. Terrible. And then I was gone for a couple of days. And then when I came back, she's there with a newborn baby. When I come back, her and her family were like, "Mate, what the hell?" And I'm like, what? Wetting the baby's head. Like it was me that had carried the baby for 9 months. Do you know what I mean? It's insanity. And that caused a hell of a lot of friction at a time where both of them needed love. Everyone needed love. So what a blessing to be sober. Not only to have got Sage, but to be feeling everything right now. I love it. I love it. Should be your inspiration. If you've got a baby on the way and you're sober, wow. Same as if you're going to get married and you're sober. I never managed to get sober for my wedding. My biggest regret in my life. So if you've got a wedding coming up, if you have an unhealthy relationship with drink and drugs, if once you pop you can't stop, and you're getting married soon, trust me. If you ever take any advice from me, look at me. Quit now. Quit before your wedding, because weddings are so emotional. There's so many different groups of people in one place. If, like me, you're a people pleaser as a defense mechanism, you will try and please everyone in that wedding. So you'll be going from group to group to group to group to group to group, like I did, drinking. And yeah, if you lose control, like I do, you won't remember half of it. So don't do that. Get sober before your wedding.